Welcome to Atlanta where the players play, and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play, and we ride on these things like every day. Ooh! My fault, guys, man, I got into that, man. If you don't know that, that's some throwback right there, Luda and Jermaine Dupri. But this is World Series G here, and you know why we here. We in hot Atlanta. It's time for us to break down the Atlanta Hawks. Their game might not be hot, but that don't mean they don't deserve a breakdown. So we gonna get into them. Long gone are the days when they had 4 All-Stars and Paul Millsap and Al Horford. It's a straight out rebuild, but that's okay. We gonna break it down for you. We're gonna show you how to try to win with these boys. So you know how we do. We start off with the roster, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we're here. We're looking at the Hawks right now. We're looking at their roster. Here's Dennis Schroeder, their best player, 82 overall. He's a playmaking point guard. He's going to score. He's quick off the bounce. That's your best game plan with him. Then you got Kent Bazemore. Good knockdown shooter, good defender, big wingspan. John Collins, he got a big boost since the beginning of the season. I know he wasn't a 78 overall when the first roster came out. He's a rookie. Ilyasova's a three-point shooter. Torian Green's a two-way defender. A good piece if you need a guy like him on a better team, because you can never go wrong with these two-way wings. Bellinelli, we know him as a shooter. He's been around the league for a while. Dwayne Dedman, he's hurt, but he's a solid rebounder guy. Babbitt, another three-point shooter. Muscala, face-up guy. Kavanaugh, same thing, face-up guy. Delaney, Isaiah Taylor, Miles Plumlee, DeAndre Bembry. I watched him in college. He's pretty good. Tyler Dorsey, if you watch college, you know him from Oregon. He's a shooter. And Josh Maggot, who I have absolutely no clue who he is, and 2K gives you zero information about him. Undrafted from none. Doesn't even have a college. I don't know. They just found him off the street. I gotta Google him. 28 years old. Apparently he's a rookie. He's got the diamond badge, so he can get some assists. And that's it. I know absolutely nothing about this guy. I'm gonna have to read about him. But yeah, that's your Hawks roster. Nothing to write home about, but you knew that already. This Hawks team's not very good. They do have shooters. Let's see if we can somehow incorporate that in the offense so they can be somewhat effective. We're going to get into that offensive breakdown right now. So the Hawks have their own unique freelance offense. It's called the Hawks Freelance, obviously. So this offense has basically the same principles that you would see in the swing offense from the Spurs. Like we discussed in the Lakers breakdown, it comes from the coaching tree that it comes from. So Mike Budenholzer was an assistant to Greg Popovich in San Antonio, so he brought the same concept to Atlanta. This would allow Atlanta to have that free-flowing offense where they shot a lot of threes and scored a lot of baskets when they had those 4 All-Stars. So we brought the same thing to Atlanta. Like we talked about in the roster breakdown, they've got shooters. So an offense like that supports a team full of shooters. It's not a completely balanced team, but this offense will try to space you out and shoot threes. There are some offensive combinations that actually work here. You can use Ersan Ilyasova at the center with a guy like Luke Babbitt, and now you can pretty much 5-out. And there are points in this offense where the offense will break into a 5-out set, so there will be no one in the paint. And you could use a guy like Dennis Schroeder to attack the basket and kick that way. Obviously, having Ilyasova at the center is going to mess you up defensively. But if you're just looking to space the floor and shoot, which is the best way to attack with this Atlanta Hawks team, that's your best bet. Here's a couple plays that I like that are going to allow some shooters to get open. So we'll get into those really quickly. First one I'm going to show you is quick 4 horns flare. This might personally be my favorite play in this entire game. Here, I'm just gonna let it run through all the way so you can see the type of shot you're gonna get. Saw that right there. That was a wide open shot, man. And you get that a lot of the time. Your defense on the computer is gonna really have a hard time defending that play, and human is going to have a hard time defending it the first couple of times. And if you just mix it into your offense, it's always going to be effective. So you just seen the slowed down version. Now we're going to break it down real quick. So this is a 3-point play. So this is good for your 3-point shooters. So make sure you guys are equipped with 3-point and he'll be able to run it. So here it starts, like it says horns. So you're going to see the horns action. 2 guys in both high posts. The shooter is going to set a screen. Here, what happens is his man gets hit by that flare screen and allows him to pop wide open. So what's going to happen here is he's going to be open. You make the pass. Look at that open space he's got. Wide open. Just a terrible release. He misses the shot. So this one is called Quick 3 Horns Flex. So another 3-point play. I like 3-point plays, especially because it's hard to get open shots regularly, and I like screens that open up threes. Here, look at that wide open 3-pointer. He just misses it. That's because I don't know how to use the hooks. So here's the slowdown version. So like the other play, it starts with the horn set. 2 guys in the high post. What they're going to do is they're going to set screens for each other, and the guy who sets the screen is going to pop out to the top. Here's Ilyasova. And if you wanted to, he probably could shoot that 3 if he was open. But what's going to happen is after the pass, there's going to be another screen set for the actual shooter who is in the low post, and bang, wide open jumper. There was no one near him. I mean, I got to make that shot though, honestly. But those are 2 good plays you can add to your playbook with the Hawks, and hopefully you can get those threes that you're vitally going to need. So we can go into the defense now. So at this point, I've kind of already evolved to a basic defensive game plan that I use basically with any team I play with in 2K. What I usually do is set it to this basic setting, and then I adjust accordingly to specific matchups. So, like right here, the Cavs are a tough matchup because I usually like to use my center to protect the rim. So I'm going to usually leave the big man because in most cases the big man, you don't really need to guard anywhere out, like more than outside of the rim, because they're big men, they dunk, they make layups, maybe a mid-range shot. The Cavs are a tough matchup because Kevin Love is a 3-point shooter. So you can't leave Kevin Love basically left because he'll shoot and make wide open 3-pointers. So the Cavs are a tough matchup because I can't leave him. What I did in this case, which turned out to be bad in this game, was I left Jay Crowder open. I gapped him so whoever's his man can be the main rim protector. If I wanted to get extremely complicated, what I would have probably done if I had an elite rim protector, which I don't really have using this Hawks team because they don't really have real rim protectors or really like too many solid defenders overall, is say I had a team like the Rockets. I might put Clint Capella on Jay Crowder so that he's gapping him and he can really be there to defend. In this game, it didn't work because Jay Crowder knocked down his threes. But like any real defensive coach in basketball will tell you, you got to learn to pick your poison. You've got to find the guys you want to make shots and you want to beat you. Like maybe you don't want LeBron to beat you. Or maybe you want LeBron to beat you and no one else. So you've got to kind of devise a game plan. But my basic game plan has been established. If you watched any of the other breakdowns, the last few breakdowns has pretty much been the same exact setting. I don't really change it too much unless I've got a really tough matchup. So that's what I advise you to do. Overall, basically with any of these teams, find your team's strengths and weaknesses. But what you really want to do is have a game plan, have a way you like to play with your players and with your team in 2K, and try to build your lineup around it. If you like to shoot a lot of threes, put 3-point shooters on the floor. If you like a guy to pick and roll and create, make sure you got a good point guard with the team you're using, or just, find somebody who can create and isolate and then work that way. Whatever you want to do defensively, or offensively, you want to make sure you have that strategy and keep it that way, and then adjust according to matchups. So that's what I like to do. With this Hawks team, in this matchup, I tried to have the gap space for rim protection. It didn't help. You're going to get burned sometimes. Sometimes you're not going to get burnt. Another strategy I could have used was just double LeBron and let everyone else beat me, or just hold on everyone else and just let LeBron go off. It's you picking your poison, but that's what I've done. This Hawks team doesn't have great defenders, so overall you're probably going to get beaten regardless because they're just not that good. But that's up to you. That's just my little 2 cents on how to play 2K and how to win with like not really good teams, or at least compete with them and not look terrible. Because a lot of people can win with really good teams. It's hard when you got to play with these tough teams that just don't really have the talent. But that's my breakdown with the Hawks. Like all the other videos, if you like it, leave a like. Please comment. I don't have a lot of subscribers, so I'm going to respond back to your comment if you leave one. Subscribe, and I'll be back with some more videos. I got a couple other things in the works. Look out for them. They're coming real soon. And this is World Series G signing out. Peace.